what can Kosi show you? Like, obviously Jaron won the job for the reasons that you guys saw out here.
Right.
Is there, Nikosi's obviously trying to grow and he's getting reps now. Is there something he can show you, like this game, or maybe like another game after that if Jaron's still banged
Of
up?
course, of course. And there were always things. Look, as we mentioned, even when we named them starter, none of the guys are finished products. Um, all the guys have strengths, and all the guys have different things that they would like to improve on, and those things have continued to improve since August 10th or whatever we announced it. So, um, there was a reason why we picked Jaron. That reason still exists. However, that we want them all. You mentioned player development. We want them all to continue to develop. And don't we have a good thing? Remember, like in January, we didn't think we had a quarterback that could win for us. You know what I mean? And again, I think that goes back to the job that Dan Enos has done. That I think our locker room feels very confident that we have. Hey, oh my gosh, we put another guy in there and we don't miss a beat.
And Jaron would be number 2 this week, right? Not Tate. If he
There would probably be, it may be a 2A and 2B type thing based off of what we might do, schematically off of that.
When you say Jaron could have a role, you mean he could just go in and play a couple series or share?
It all really would depend on game mechanics and how things go.
Manny, considering the resume that Nicosia has put together over the last 2 years and the fact that he's still not your starting quarterback at this point, what more does he need to prove? Because we've heard from certain players that he can throw a ball too hard. Does he need to soften things up? Does he need to have a better grasp of the offense? What more does he need to prove at this point?
Well, number one, when we talk about his resume, I think we should assess his resume this year, in terms of who he is now, instead of cherry picking different things from the past, both good or bad. The parts of his game that we knew that he had to work on coming out of August, I think he has. I think he has improved some of those things. Some of those things are things we don't really want to share with other people. It's not really fun to give away your players' weaknesses to the public or the other team. But he knows, and he's been doing it. And that's been the coolest thing about this story is a guy that continues to work, continues to get better. When the odds said, "Oh gosh, like I'm not going to get in," and then bang, all of a sudden, here it goes. And to me, that's a credit to how Nicosia has grown as an individual.
Speak to more questions for Coach.
Manny, I know the kickers are also competing right now, place kicking. Is that going to come down to pregame warm-ups again?
It could. We ended practice today, and all 3 went up there, and they all missed one. And they all went 3 up there, and they all made one. So it's it's something that the more I know this, the more snaps we put on them, and the more pressure we put them under, the better off they'll be for them. So so right now that race is still ongoing. It's on. You don't get that one on Wednesdays.
And you also have asked us about Georgia Tech.
Right.
Yeah, this year a little bit different. Run that straightforward triple option.
Correct.
How has it been different?
Well, certainly that part is, but what's ironic is they still have option principles in their offense. They still have a running quarterback who's a very good athlete, and they still have some athletes on the perimeter that were maybe playing different roles for them in the past. They're a team that's improving, and if you look at what they did in the second half of the game, the Duke game got away from them. They had a bad second quarter against Duke, but they give you some concerns defensively with what they do, because again, defensively they weren't running a triple option, they were running an ACC defense prior to last year. So, a lot of man coverage. They're going to challenge a lot of throws, a lot of twisting, blitzing, stunting by their front. So they're not a very static, stationary defense. There's always something going on. So they demand, really seamless communication by your front to make sure that you don't cut a free rusher loose. And so it's a challenge, because they're going to take away a lot of the easy access throws, and really try to challenge you to hold the ball and push it down the field. So, which then allows the rush to have a say in it. So, it's easy to look at the record and say, that's whatever. That's not in this league, man. We know how this ACC Coastal is, and we know how our team is. There's no easy wins. It's hard to win a football game, and every game has to start with that understanding. And we have not proven that we can handle that. That's a big challenge for us this weekend.
As youthful as your offensive line is it even that more impressive what DJ Dallas has been able to do behind it this year?
It is, but and again, those guys are blocking for DJ as well. But no, DJ has been relentless. He's been, to me, the identity of our offense. His will, the way he finishes runs, and the coolest. And we talk about competitive greatness. He's been his best when his best is required. The big run in the fourth quarter against Virginia Tech, the big run that got us down to the goal to go against UVA. So can't say enough about him. In my mind, he's absolutely one of the most dynamic players in our conference. Thank you all.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, you heard it. He just announced that Kosi Perry will start. Jaren's a little banged up still, is what they're saying, but Jaren's still a starter. He's the starter. Kosi Perry will start.
Just so you guys know, it's going to be so in place of Garvin, and we will also bring over the Kosi Perry. Will also.
So now here's DJ Dallas.
DJ, the running game obviously is a big part of what you guys were early in the season, and it feels like the last couple of games just haven't really been able to get out the way that you wanted to. It's been a struggle. What do you think has to change this week and moving forward maybe the second half of the season to kind of get a jump start? Because you've obviously been running great. We saw the long touchdown run you had against Virginia Tech, but it seems like it's been a struggle to really get the running game going consistently.
I don't really feel like it's been a struggle. I haven't put up the numbers that I feel like I was supposed to put up in probably the past 3 or 4 games. It's on me, mostly. Missing holes, stumbling, going down after the first dude hit me. That's not me. That's not who I am as a player. We're just gonna come back or come out and just keep playing our ball, man. I don't feel like we've been struggling running the ball. I feel like we do a dang good job of running the ball. And like I said, just gonna keep getting better. Just getting better on Green Tree, reading the holes, and just taking practice to the game.
So are the holes there? Do you see the holes?
Yeah, no doubt. Those are there. It's just whether or not we hit them, whether or not they stay open for long. And the O-line, they do a good job with them being young, man. They're playing well above what everybody thought they were going to be, you know.
And with Manny, you just said moments ago that you're one of the most dynamic players in the conference. Do you feel that confidence with your O-line growing each week, and those holes are being a little more available for you now?
Yeah, like they get better every week. They get better every week. They sustain blocks longer every week. And you just kind of see them growing as the weeks go by.
In turn, it's making your job a lot easier, I would say.
Manny just said that Kosi started this week again. How do you feel about that? And what makes it?
It's a proven winner. He can extend plays. He's proved himself time and time again. So I'm comfortable with him starting, and I feel like the whole team is.
Does Kosi ever give you the impression that, considering last year, his resume is a little bit longer than every other quarterback's, but the fact is, like, man, what do I have to do to win this starting job outright? Does he give you the impression like that he doesn't understand, or he's not there yet on understanding what he needs to do in order to win the starting job, and it just be his, and there's no more competition, and no more talk about it?
Nah, he comes to work every day. I mean, it's the same dude every day. We're gonna get the same guy every day, same business like attitude. Everything with him is business. In the huddle is business. So he's the same dude every day.
We have a couple more questions. We have a lot of Reelers George back. I know we heard a lot about him in his brief time. He hasn't really been back there about really carries or blocking as much. I know you guys are probably buddies. What do you sort of tell him, especially he's had a this season?
Realist is a dude. He's not gonna be real selfish about like his PT or whatever. He finds his way on the field in special teams. He's he's valuable in special teams. He's a buck on kick return, and he's one of our PPs on punt. So realist, yeah, he's not getting the plays on offense, but he's making he's getting his plays in other positions.
Thanks, TJ. Thanks, TJ.
How you guys doing?
So Greg, how do you top last week? You had a great game division. How do you kind of come back now knowing the team's looking for you?
Just keep on building on it and just be ready for anything to throw at you. Just keep on working hard. Mostly just coming out here and beating that dream tree every single day. That's what's gonna keep me up there. For sure.
Playing alongside Jonathan Garvin really helped to just got me because a lot of times
Yeah.
you're kind of like new guy that people figuring it out. So
Yeah, a lot of people don't really know about me yet, and with Garvin, he draws so much attention because he's such a great player. It makes it easier on me sometimes when like the tight end on that side or running backs going over there and chip on his side. It does open some things up for me, for sure.
Coach, I think you said earlier this week you really didn't have a great training camp. You had a great spring, but training camp was kind of a struggle for you. What were you kind of dealing with maybe in training camp that didn't help you get off to a faster start?
My back, I had like a little strain in my back. That was slowing me down. Yeah, but it's okay. I put that behind me. It wasn't a big deal. Like even though it was starting, I just knew I just had to keep on working. It doesn't really matter what my role is. Just as long as I just keep working hard and stay humble, good things will come.
was there anything you did once you kind of got out of that? Or was it just
No, I was doing the same thing. I just felt a little bit better about my body because I wasn't like my back wasn't hurting. So I just felt a little more free out there because I was able to move better, stuff like that.
And now it's fine.
Yeah, I'm good now. I've been good for a minute, like since like August, mid-August. Yeah.
Greg, what do you notice with the Georgia Tech offense and just kind of what you notice on film?
They do a lot of different things. They move around a lot. Those linemen are pretty athletic, used to like chopping, just moving a lot. They play with high effort and they play with high intensity. Even though they're 1-5, we're not saying, oh, they're 1-5, we're going to go beat them. We're definitely taking them seriously, just like we should.
How do you feel about going up against, maybe not a true option, but an offense that has a lot of option in it, I guess?
I think it's a good test. It'll add a lot of experience for me because I'm gonna see a lot of different looks throughout the course of the game. So it's gonna be fun. And I'm looking forward to it.
Any phone calls from former players or guys around the league after you had that performance last week?
No.
Greg, you talk about the strides you've made in run defense that have allowed you to become more of this every down type of
Just hitting the sled, keeping my pad level low, and working with Coach Stroud every day has really helped me with that. Just having fast hands off the ball, and yeah, just keeping my pad level down. Really, because I'm a tall guy, trying not to get up too high because it makes me easy to block. So I just been working on that for a minute.
You had said after the game on Saturday that you guys came out with more of an edge. Friday night, you guys came out with more of an edge. How do you sustain that going into this game with being early kickoff?
Right here in Green Street, just working hard every single day. The coaches are after us. We're after ourselves. We're a prideful defense. We work really hard, and we know we need to get the results, and we know that we need to just keep on pressing on and keep pounding every single day.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Greg.
Greg.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Greg. Thank you.
I'll be here.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Greg.
So another opportunity to start, I guess. And what does that mean to you? I understand that you care about the team winning, but you individuals kind of another opportunity to shine.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for the opportunity and I'm ready to get a win for this team.
When you watch the film from the Virginia game, what did you see in terms of areas that you could have improved or been better at?
Especially my deep ball accuracy. But mostly just deep ball. If we'd have hit some of those deep shots, then I feel like the game would have been out of reach a lot earlier.
Some of that nerves, you have to play with that shit.
I don't really think it was there. It's just few opportunities, but you got to take advantage of every opportunity that you get.
So do you sort of see this as an audition? I mean, Coach has said obviously down to starter since he was the starter in game one. Is this sort of your opportunity to say, hey, I've progressed a lot, from fall drills, I should be in the mix also?
Personally, I feel like regardless of if I'm starting or not, I'm always ready. I definitely look at it as an audition. I'm just prepared and thankful for the opportunity.
As far as some of the guys we were talking to said, you're quite a candidate. You can really throw it in there. Do you work on a little more touch these days to be able to loft that ball in?
Yeah, I definitely work on my touch throws because I always, like you said, I always had into it pretty hard. But I feel like Coach Eno's helped me out a whole lot, working on my trajectory throws and stuff like that.
Is that part of the whole maturation process in trying to keep being the starter outright and winning that job every week?
It may be, it may not be. I'm not sure.
Diaz said I'm under one. He brought up the one play where you missed the ball to KJ, but you went through like 4 different progressions. And he said the old Nicosi probably would not have gone through all 4 progressions. You know, that play in particular, I mean, are there moments now that things are happening that didn't happen before too?
Yeah, especially like he said, going through all of my progressions. That's one thing I try to work on as much as I can because the old me, I used to get real jittery in the pocket and try to leave early, but you just got to trust the protection and make sure that we don't watch the progression, things like that. And that was like my last progression on that throw, and I just got to hit it.
Let's finish your last home game and as far as this home stand, which is really long. How important is it to you, and how much better is it to play at home, and how much would you like fans to show up?
It's always good to play at home. We love the fans as a team. They bring energy to us, and it's always good to get a win at home. We never want to lose, especially at home.
Something that it looks like you've also gotten a lot better at, evading pressure. There were plays where it looked like you guys didn't hit you. You just did like a matador move, you know.
Yeah, I feel like that's just instinct, God-given ability.
Have you noticed anything in certain blitz pick up that you do as well, just knowing where the pressure's coming from, or just feeling it better?
Yeah, right. That comes from practice throughout the week and watching film with the coaches and listening to the tips and stuff they give us. And once you get home, take it in your own hands to continue to watch it and prepare.
How much has that preparation process really changed for you since last season? Because as we understood it, you're staying later, you're one of the last guys out of the building, you're always watching film. How much has that changed since last year?
I feel like it just comes with experience. Like out of high school, even in high school, I never really watched film or nothing like that. So it just, for me personally, it just took some getting used to.
Kosi, what for Georgia Tech, what do you have to be most concerned about as far as their defense?
They play with a lot of effort, and I feel like they're a fast defense, but I'm not too worried about what they do. It's about us. I feel like we win when we play good, and if we play bad, then we're gonna get ourselves.
Thanks, Kosi. Appreciate it.
Is that it?
Waiting on Trajan Bandy, so just hang tight.
So next we'll get Trajan Bandy. Coach said he ain't worried about what Georgia Tech do. Well, I think they went away from the deep ball because the short ball was working. You gotta listen. The offense didn't move the ball for like 2 quarters, so you gotta go with what's working. If you're watching, man, hit the like button for us. Hit the like button, share. If you never subscribe, make sure you hit subscription. It's free. Bandy coming. Like button, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I think Bandy's somewhere taking a shower. But yeah, listen, they're sticking with Kosi, but they're saying Jaren is still the starter. I don't know. It's kind of like saying, I don't know, you're innocent to proven guilty, but you're sitting in jail with no bond. I don't know how you kind of explain that. But I mean, Jaren is still the starter. But Kosi is starting this game. I think they're saying Jaren isn't completely healed. Well, it's too late, legend. They already starting the Kosi. I have to ask you guys this: do you feel Perry has balled out, or you just happy because we're winning? Jaron had a game where he was 30 for 39, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Perry had a monster game versus Virginia Tech. He did. I mean, is Perry balling out to you, or are we just happy because we're winning?
I'm opening this all out.
North Carolina, we lost.
Guys, I'm sorry, you know, most practice left, so it's not, it's literally locked.
Okay, so that's it. Bandy snuck out the back door after he took a shower. He's not here. So listen, make sure you like, subscribe, and share.